if you've ever seen that picture, that illustration of, it's like multifaceted, but a guy trying to hold on to a girl hanging over a cliff and about slipping away, but then the girl on the cliff is about to get bit by a snake, and so you can't see all the angles that you're getting pressure from.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, why aren't you holding on? It's like, well, there's a snake about to bite me here. So someone comes into your office and they're like, I really need to break this down for you. Like, okay, so you set all this aside and you're like, hit me with it. Hey everyone, welcome to Crossroad Conversations with the Lewis Brothers, where we aim to share real stories about running a successful family business while working through adversity and pouring back into our community that keeps our doors open every single day. We're your hosts, Shelby, Matt, and Taylor, and we'll be bringing you real, relevant local business advice, maybe some automotive insights that are sure to change the way you look at running a business or buying a car, and maybe even throw on a plug for you to do business with us here locally. Welcome back to the podcast, Crossroad Conversations with the Lewis Brothers. That's a mouthful, and we're talking about a handful today, episode 82.
Okay.
Wrapping this thing up for, it looks like it's going to be for the month, right? And we're talking about taking questions from employees, talking about straight from the leader's mouth. You hear it here first.
Oh, boy. That's right. But before we get into that, I got to talk about last week's podcast. We were on fire.
What was it?
It was talking about meetings. And it was talking about how intentional are your meetings? Do you plan your meetings? Or are you one of those boring people that just have meetings to have meetings? And if that's
that one?
Yes. If that's you, you suck at meetings.
That's okay. We give you tips and tricks of how not to
We sure do.
I know you guys did.
So plan your meetings. Go back and listen to that episode so you can have more intentional meetings that make a difference.
There's something like 77% of people say that meetings are irrelevant.
70% of the time, it never works every time.
Yeah, it's huge. Go back and check that out. Hey, always online, lewissuperstore.com for all of the freshest specials, everything we've got going on Lewis-wise, and then Crossroads Conversation podcast for all this relevant information that we talk business up to 82 episodes now.
And what's coming up is the car show. If you've driven past the tower lately, you've known it's been on recycle. It's had new items up there.
Red Fury right now.
The Red Fury's there. We've had people calling it out. Why? Because we're getting ready for our car show Saturday, May 23rd, 9 to 12. Now remember, it's a free car show, free entry. We do take donations because 100%, 100% goes to Arkansas Children's Hospital, and we match dollar for dollar the donations that go there. It's going to be an amazing time. So whether you have a car to put in there, we're expecting somewhere between 350 and 500 cars in the show this year. And there will be a lot of people. We've got food trucks and NASCARs and live DJs and bounce houses. It's going to be a fun time.
A good handful of new things this year. One of those is you can pre-register.
Okay.
Be careful if you're on our Facebook page. I think we've turned some settings off, but it'll be a link through our Facebook event.
Okay.
It'll be in the link on the event to be able to pre-register. That allows you to speed up your check-in. Also, we're doing a limited number of shirts for pre-sale.
Okay.
Right? So you can go on and register for that pre-sale. It's our 4th annual, and it's all makes and mods.
That's true.
We do not discriminate of how nice or how project-ish your vehicle is.
You know, I had a guy the other day, and one, I just want to tell you your banners worked because he was able to recite the day it was going to be.
You hear that, Craig?
And not only that, he said, so you're telling me I can bring my Camaro?
All makes, all models.
And I wanted to say,
We're going to park you by the dumpster.
And I said, absolutely.
Yep. All makes, all models. We really opened that up last year and had a huge...
It's liable to be bonkers.
From Ferraris to street legal NASCAR.
To the hydraulics.
To the hydraulics.
Willie, my buddy Willie, shout out.
Is he coming?
He hadn't responded yet, but...
Go by his house. You live by him. I'm not going to store it with a Modelo.
I'm going to take a Modelo over.
All right, let's talk business.
Right.
Let's talk business. Get into it. Hey, we're going to have a fun segment of just questions from the employees coming from us going through. So 3 most important things whenever you're hiring new employees, regardless of your level.
Okay.
Number one, what are the most important talents,
Sorry.
characteristics, and traits that make up a great manager?
Number one, they got to be a good listener.
Oh my gosh. I was listening to see if you would say that. I don't care what level of janitor to high-level CEO are. If you do not listen, you're done.
So done. Not only can you not recognize how to fix a problem, close a customer, how to improve? Nobody will even want to invest in you anymore because you just talk.
It drives me nuts. Oh my gosh. And it's just like, you already know what you know.
Yeah.
If you listen, like, and I'm going through this with one of our teammates right now, and I'm like, you cannot open your mouth and you cannot answer because I know it's going to happen. And there's good in there, right? But I'm like, go pull this and let's look at the details. Then tell me what you found. Turn off what you know and tell me what you found. And they're like, I found this. I was like, that's what we do as leaders.
And let me give a little more context to everybody out there listening, because I know where this is coming from that you're talking about. They actually came in your office and asked you a question.
Yeah, because they thought they had it figured out.
Just really to then tell you
The answer.
The answer that they really needed help finding, because it wasn't even the right answer because they weren't listening.
Yeah, they said, hey, this gross percentage is off, and I can't figure it out, but actually I've got it figured out, and it's because of this. And I was like, hey, I'm so glad you brought that up. I've been deep diving in this, and you'll see this here doesn't even take that into account. And they're like, I was like, shh. You know, the thing where they do, they close your lips. I had to physically close their lips and then duct tape them.
Like you're a third grade teacher.
Yeah, and sometimes it's worthwhile, or sometimes you're too far in it. But to start from the get-go, listen well.
That's number one. I'm going to give you number two, and then y'all can give some.
Yeah.
Number two, you have to be coachable. If you're not coachable and you come in as a know-it-all, you might as well fire yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to improve.
We see that a lot of times that people, the first drives me insane. I already write it off. Like they're continuing to talk. You can see their mouth starting to move before you even stop talking. You're like, they're not even listening. But coachable, like, hey, yeah, I'm coachable. And you're like, okay, what'd you think? Yeah, I'm coachable. And they continue to go on and on. You know right then and there they're not coachable.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a roadblock to your success.
All right, I got a third one for you.
Okay.
I told you I only had two, but I had a third one. This is too good not to share.
Come
All
on.
right, so there's a quote out there, and I'll tell you the quotes by here in a little
Those
bit.
that don't teach.
Okay, that's close, but here's what it says. It says, employees do not care how much you know until they know how much you care. Now, that doesn't mean, let me just help this. That doesn't mean you invite them over for Christmas and Thanksgiving and you hang out with them after work. What that means is you've gotten to know them to understand what their goals are, what drives them, and that you care about helping them be successful. As a manager, shut your mouth about how successful you've been. They don't care about that. They're like, how successful can you help me be?
It's not relevant. This is not an awards banquet. It doesn't matter. That was in the past. We're talking about future business, right?
Not helping you with doing anything else there. So,
But you know, all three of those, I said, you know about being a good listener.
nope.
Okay. You know about being coachable, and then about showing employees that you care. All of those takes patience and time. It's not this managed by fear. Look what I've done. You need to hit your goals. If not, you're on your way out. It takes time and it takes intention.
Let me point something out based on those three things, especially based on the third one, falling back to 1 and 2. That's why sometimes people are like, hey, I can never get time with Matt, or Matt's so busy. You can't just stop and say, hey, real quick, hit me with what you've got, because you want to be able to give them the time to know what's important to them, to be able to show them that you care, and to be able to actually listen. You probably know more about that subject than they do, but to be able to listen. And you can't just do that in an elevator.
And then my personality too, I'm going to unpack it and I'm going to dig deep.
Yeah, and not everybody really wants that.
I know. They really didn't want
They
all
want to
my
hear like,
advice.
hey, you're doing good.
Okay, write down all your expenses. So let's go through that.
It's not going to be good.
You know, one of the things that I see here talking about this is understanding how hard it is to let go of part of that business and let someone else run it, even though sometimes you know you're more qualified.
You know, and I think I'm going to speak for this. I'll speak for myself. I'm going to speak for y'all too, and then tell me if I'm wrong. But I think that is a season that we're all going through.
Oh, yes.
And like there's some low-hanging fruit that's easy on, that is monotonous work. And you're like, okay, there's really no reason I should do that. And I heard Craig Groeschel talk about this in his church. Forever, he wouldn't even give anybody the key to the supply closet or to the door to open and close it.
Taylor, don't just be logging up all the keys.
And then it's like somebody else could do that.
Yeah.
But where it starts getting tough, like, so you have this layer that's easy to accomplish. The next layer is where you see some value and some worth on doing things. And you're like, I know somebody else could do this, but I'm really good at this. What the real true thermometer to put in is, if I let go of this area and I freed up this time, would there be a better multiplication factor for me reinvesting that?
Yeah.
And generally, the answer is yes. Right? Someone else can handle that. It allows them to feel super important, allows them to give a different angle, and allows you to work on something different or higher level, and then they learn. I'll tell you this, on the flip side of that, we might not know as much as that employee does because they're able to hyper-focus on one target, or we're trying to look at 40 targets.
That are all coming together.
And I had one the other day that we were working on replacing an employee for a position, and we didn't have an employee in the place at this current moment, and we did, and we're uncovering a lot of stuff. And so I had a meeting with Ford and some of the reps, and then I had a meeting with one of our managers that's helping us, and I said, hey, can I be super honest with you? Is it okay if I'm transparent? I don't know all this. I don't know the details. I'm not going to sit here and BS you. I don't know where this comes from that and how this, I know at this level, and I know that I hired someone originally that told me they knew all the details here. It turns out they didn't. That's my fault. That is my fault. I take full responsibility. So I'm going to bring in all the experts. All the experts and the vendors that you pay all the money to, I'm going to bring them in and I'm going to make them earn their money back. Right? And say, teach me like it's my first day because I feel like it's my first day. And then I had one was like, hey, here, we have never been set up on this pay app to be able to do this. I was like, whew, how have we survived in business? And I was like, whoop, that's easy, right? That's easy. I admit, my fault. I didn't know that because I let go of the reins and it fried us on this one.
But you know what? There's a freeing part to that instead of winging it. And I've been in many situations I've winged it before. And I just take really good notes and then I go do research it all because I got out of that situation and just acted really confident even though I didn't know what I was doing. But when you're just confident enough in your position and that you can be transparent and honest enough that you don't know something, there's a freeing ability there. And number two, I found out that there are people around you that want to be an asset to you and they want to feel like that they've helped because they do. Yeah. We went through the same situation in insurance this year. So, we recently took over some other areas of the business and one of them was insurance. And we walked into the room with the guy on insurance and it was second or third sentence out of her mouth. It was like, I got to be honest with you. I don't know all the details here, but what I do know is we're not going to make a decision until we get the details because I'm representing our employees.
Yeah.
So that's good.
That was being able to open that. So that's definitely something hard to be able to do, especially with our demeanor, especially with the way that we work of moving forward there. What would you say the most stressful part of running the business that no one sees?
Is this the whole podcast on this question?
Yeah.
I think it's the compounding and the piling up of this issue, this issue, this issue, this issue, this issue. And hey, can I talk to you real quick? Hey, do you have a second? Hey, this issue. Hey, somebody tag me on Facebook because there's a concern here. Then you go back down to that level and you're like, hey, what do we do here? Then back over here. It's the 1,000 knife cuts, right?
It's never the one.
They don't see. If you've ever seen that picture, that illustration of, it's like multifaceted, but a guy trying to hold on to a girl hanging over a cliff and about slipping away, but then the girl on the cliff is about to get bit by a snake, and so you can't see all the angles that you're getting pressure from.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, why aren't you holding on? It's like, well, there's a snake about to bite me here. So someone comes into your office and they're like, I really need to break this down for you. Like, okay, so you set all this aside and you're like, hit me with it. And you're like, okay, perfect. I've got the information. I'm not solving this problem right now. Let me compile it, get some notes. So then you bring it back over here and then walks in the next one. And then here comes the other one. I think that's, in my opinion, one of the more difficult things.
I want to piggyback on what you said right there, and then say a second part about being stressful. I think one of the stressful things about those situations with employees, let's talk about that with employees, is not helping somebody walk through whatever at work or at home. The stressful part is when you have a lot of them coming at you, trying to walk through intentionality with every single one of them.
Yeah.
Knowing that it's going to take time, but there's multiple other people.
And maybe they jump 3 levels.
Yes.
And customers do that all the time, and employees will do that all the time. It's not, you just don't have enough time in the day to direct. And so it's like, well, I've got someone who's better at that than I am, and you got to help them get back to the correct department.
It's not a lack of want.
The want's there.
The want's there. So I'll tell you the stressful part of, I'm like unpacking this as you guys are talking about it.
Go ahead. This is like the therapy couch.
Good. Thank you. Is not having a solution, especially with a customer or a fix on a situation.
Yeah. And I directly off of that, one thing that people really overlook that generally is where our lack of fix or lack of solution is from is we're the middleman.
We are.
I had an issue yesterday with, we want to help. We want to fix the problem. We are not the maker of the vehicle. We've talked about this before, but it's like we can only, if it's a warranty style issue, we're not going to ask the customer to pay. We surely can't work on it unless the manufacturer says, yep, that's a problem. Go ahead, proceed. They tell us what to do in that. As frustrating as that is.
I think that, so if you look at from each part of it, and we're not complaining here, we're just trying to peel back the layers because you ask us to.
Yep.
Is if you ordered your car and it shows built, we want the car here.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? We don't get paid. We don't get credit. You're not happy until the car's here. So whether you think it or not, we are fighting behind the scenes to track that car, get it here, get the order right. If there's a car that's broken service, we want a fix for it.
Yeah.
We, Lewis, will not deny your warranty.
No.
Why would we? How much money we get paid if we don't get a warranty, Joe?
Zero.
So think about that. You know what I mean?
The problem is the public perception is Lewis Ford will not fix my truck.
It is. So I think that's a stressful part that we all deal with is even though we're the middleman, we're the last people to say, hey, it's on the manufacturer, not on us. The whole it's not my job deal.
Yeah.
We take full ownership to try to help somebody with the experience. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of stress. It's not stress of ordering the cars or hiring somebody or paying bills. It's not being able to come through with what your word is and what you've committed to because of outside factors.
And that's so tricky. I just had one yesterday, and I was at home getting all the notifications on all the stuff. And it's because you care. Because you care so much.
Why.
If you didn't care so much, like we talked about some other dealers that have tons and tons rolling through, they're not connected to their Google reviews coming through. They're not connected to their CSI scores for the manufacturer. They're saying, hey, at the end of the month, what does my bottom line look like? And did we increase our units in operation? When you're connected to all the pieces, and it's a devil's advocate both ways, then you're tagged in all the, hey, this is going on, this is going on. And I love it because we signed up for it, but sometimes it's stressful.
That's the stressful part.
Yeah.
It's,
You hit the rev limiter and it goes right up to the one right before. How hard it is to let part of the business and let someone else run it when you know you're more qualified? I'm more guilty of it than anyone, trying to be in the middle of it and help be that whatever, comforting ear or whatever, talking to a customer that wants to yell and scream. I had one tell me the other day, it was like, why won't you get mad or fight back or anything? He's like, I appreciate you just smiling and going through it. But you finally hit a point of whatever day it was when we were busy. I continued to get calls of people that were going above skipping 3 levels, and I knew why they were calling me. And I kept looking down and said, why are you calling me? And I said, nope, not answering it. And it was about, I figured out when I got back here, it was when we were gone to the car show at the U of A, the coffee machine was leaking. I was like, why were you calling and just wearing me out?
Sometimes the facetious in me, there is an option. I found it deep in there. If I know who the problem is, I'll forward all my phone calls to them.
You know,
I'll forward all of my phone calls. So if my wife calls me, which she's not going to call me during work at all, it's going directly to that person.
you know, the other thing that I did, and I don't know why it took me so many years to do this, so I would just encourage anybody listening to do this, is go in your phone settings and set up silent or nighttime or whatever that's called.
Yeah, personal.
Now, I still have, so it could still come through. If one of you guys call me, it's ringing. Okay.
Yeah.
But you're not going to call me at 11:30 for BS stuff.
You can call me and it ain't gonna work.
But I told somebody today, they walked in my office and they said, this customer was blowing me up at 11 o'clock last night. I said, I hope you didn't answer.
Yeah.
What were you going to
Do it
do?
at 11 o'clock.
Well, nothing good was going to come out of an 11 o'clock phone call at night.
Yeah.
If they're hurt, they need to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Set your boundaries.
Set your boundaries.
You have
And
to.
that will help with some of that stress.
If not the business, not even automotive business, but automotive especially, but any other line of work, it will consume and destroy you. It will consume and destroy you if you do not set those boundaries.
All right, hit them with a quiz.
All right. What's the most popular car color worldwide since 1901? Silver, black, red, or white?
This one feels like a layup because
Black.
this is where we're at.
Johnny can?
It's got to be white.
It's white.
It's white.
And I think that's what skewed because of Fleet.
Yeah.
But even if you took Fleet out, white's a safe color.
It's a safe, generic
So
color.
is black, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but white's more.
Yeah,
But
That's
you know, black's the first color.
yeah.
You know, white's the neutral, and then black's the color. And
We're going to have some really smart people out there argue whether, black is,
oh, well, I mean, it's whatever.
I get off the rails.
All right, let's get personal.
All right. Now, I love this that they put with me.
It's perfect.
Is
for
they said,
you.
let's get personal. Now, of the three of
I'd
us,
like them to come talk to you about getting personal.
I'm probably the most open book, personal one.
Where's my BS?
Do you constantly? Now it's my fault that I eat a half a cow every single day, and they come and just
It would
this
drive
close
me
to
nuts.
me.
Hey, what are you eating? It's a steak. What do you think?
I'm just
What are you eating?
completely
difference-
numb to it.
When I was on the tower and I was doing that, I nicely did.
We've gotten on the
Shop them
Yeah.
enough that
They never show back.
if they showed up to me, bring your log. Which deal are you working right now? What's your calorie count? What's the fat grams on that?
Yeah.
Are you putting sand in your gas tank?
Yes.
They're like, oh. Okay, anyways. All right, let's get personal. All right, here we go. I get to ask you guys this.
Okay.
See, it's not even me getting personal. Favorite car of all time? Why does everybody want to ask that?
I had this one Ranger one time. I think it was like an 86. It might have been an 88.
With the snow tires?
Yeah, it was a two-wheel drive, regular cab, long bed.
On the
But
Courier?
no, I don't. The
No.
blue one? Is that what
No,
you're
the
talking about?
white
No, the
Courier.
white
No,
one.
mine was a Ranger.
It was a Ranger.
We might, I don't know. I was young, but it was long before I had a driver's license. But we drove since we were tiny kids.
Yeah.
because we're privileged. No, just because Dad was at work and we took the keys. So it was a farm truck. It wasn't my truck. It was we needed a 4-wheel drive, but I proved it wrong with 1-wheel drive.
Oh, yeah.
It was a long bed Ranger, maybe Courier. It was automatic, but it had a shifter on the floor.
Oh yeah.
Did it have the vice grips?
No,
Okay, I'm talking about a different
That's
one.
different. one. That was
that's
all.
earlier probably.
And this thing, I wired up a stereo behind the seat
Okay.
for it, and I'd take it down through the creek.
Is it?
Well, I get it pretty deep in the creek, but I knew Dad'd be home about 7 o'clock, and I better get. See, it was 1-wheel drive, and it was long bed.
Yeah, get the bag and jump up.
And the shifter, you could, you get stuck pretty easy, and so it was like a reverse, new, and shift. But if you power shifted too hard, the T part of the handle would come off. Oh, I burned grooves in the tires of the right rear tire of trying to get out. That was pretty dang nice.
I'm going to say off an experience and whether favorite car or not. So I had a 95 Mustang. And at that point in time, I was just semi-mechanically. Now I'm semi-advanced. Okay? So at that point in time, I'd be classes. And man, that thing would get squirrely on me. I mean, constantly. It was when, especially around corners, that sucker would just come drifting out of the corners. And I got pretty good driving it. I really did. And one time where you had it, the shop had it up in the air, the rear sway bar was broke.
That would get squirrely on there.
I didn't even know it. It was, it was
It just
like,
made you a good driver.
made me
You
a
put some
really
at the
good driver.
passenger seat and go,
and no
watch this
traction
thing. Come
control.
on.
No traction control was always sideways.
It's
I was like,
231 horsepower.
I was like, dang, this 5.0's got a lot of power.
It's really snapping and getting it stiff.
Yep.
I always,
Bugatti was your favorite.
yeah, I laugh. I had this 11 model I remember because it was the last year they made until they brought them back. The Rangers extended cab sport. It's 2-wheel drive in high school. We always said, hey, we were driving Raptors and Bugattis and GT500s. But somehow everyone would come hang out at the house. So we would be 5 to 6 deep in this Ranger
The Cub
extended cub cab, probably with a subwoofer in the back.
You guys
of
just
it.
coming home to get snacks?
Oh, yeah. Coming home to hit our weekly steaks. That's probably when steaks started there, coming through. But Ranger always had so much fun. And that truck was red.
What do you guys think the percentage of people listening thought that those were the 3 cars?
There ain't no way.
No. My next guess, because when you guys are saying it and you said truck, I had a 93 Ram 2500. Non-turbo Cummins, manual. First gear would go 6 miles an hour if I redlined it. And I remember pulling people out. I remember pulling a buddy out, put it in 4-wheel drive, put it in low, and got out to lock the hub.
And it was still going.
While the tires were spinning. That one was really nice. Red with red.
Now, I did have an extended cab. One of y'all probably sold it. Probably I wasn't supposed to be driving, but extended cab, F250, OBS. It was red with silver, and it was
too
a
nice.
diesel.
It's too nice.
I love that thing.
You got past the budget.
Yeah, I was so old. It's 97. But
Those were the good days.
the old school stuff definitely probably has her, and we love the new technology.
I've started
in
buying
there.
that stuff back. I like it. I've got a 99 F250 with 300,000 miles. I started this morning.
All I got to say is I'm just going to give a little bit of advice out there, okay? A friend of mine, Frank Meekum, and he went to school, Meekum Auto Auctions. We had this discussion, and we said, what are the cars that are going to bring the most money? Like, you can remember growing up, the muscle cars of the 60s to 70s were just bringing stupid money. They said, if you'll go to somebody in that 40-ish age to 55 and go back to when they were 16, what was the car that was on Motor Trend or Car and Driver? What was the car they wished and dreamed about having but couldn't afford? And then finally they have the money, and now they're buying off emotions because they want to go back to that time period in their life.
Yeah, so if you've got an 86 to 91 Ranger or a regular cab, I'm in the market.
And
Anything
it's red. By golly, there's a red on it. This is
Sucker for red.
I'm still looking for a 90s Bronco, okay, but it's got to be an Eddie Bauer.
saw the one that went across the block that it brought over 100,000.
That one,
He's not going to spend that much.
That wasn't the thing. Okay, let's
All right,
get
what's your
back
next
on it, okay?
Craig, you're never going to
Questions.
make it.
Do you watch TV when not at work? And if so, what shows?
So,
I'm going to play along here.
okay. So generally, I don't, but then I do. Here's my thing. I'm either 1,000 miles an hour. Once I'm locked in, I'm like a pit bull.
We know that.
I just got to work out with a couple of guys from service.
Yeah, they loved it.
I apologize. They're not going to be able to function well tomorrow.
They'll be
I was locked in. They'll be all right. If I'm not locked in, don't talk to me. Don't even look at me. I'm on do
not looking at you.
And so sometimes I'll get on a rant of a show, and I don't even know that I'm paying attention.
What show is it?
I told you I wasn't paying attention.
So I'll tell you, if I watch TV,
Let me pull up my Netflix.
it's either going to be a documentary about somebody.
Okay, I like those.
I like watching documentaries. I'll tell you the other series I really like is F1.
Okay.
I really like F1 on Netflix. And here's why I like it. I wasn't even an F1 fan, okay? More of a NASCAR drag race fan growing up. I like F1 documentary because it goes behind the scenes of trading of drivers, of sponsors, of dialing in the fine-tuning of the car. I really like the aspect of all the business pieces.
I think all of those style shows, there's one about horse racing.
Yes.
The F1 one.
Yes.
There's a couple others that you get to see behind the scenes. I've not overly been a sports fan, but I've watched, the quarterback series
Yes.
and then the wide receiver series. It's cool to see the business and the hustle because we can appreciate the business and the hustle.
And that's probably it is. Like I do not appreciate, I'm not going to fly off the handle here, but I don't appreciate and really get into the medical ones or the crime ones or
You're not looking for a rom-com? Or,
I'm out. I'm out.
If you're going off the handle of documentary, it's probably a new Kevin Hart that is dropped.
ooh.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I do like, if to be real, because we hadn't given them jack squat.
I said F1.
Okay, good job. I like some of Taylor Sheridan's series that he's come out with.
Who's that?
You don't know. You know who I'm talking
Yellowstone,
about. Yellowstone.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
The latest
Okay,
one is
okay.
Marshalls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Landman.
Yeah. Now some of them get way out there, and I'm like,
You better put your
yeah. I'm
blinders
like,
on.
I've been on the airplane watching it. I'm like, whoa, and just throw my iPad. It's like, who turned that on?
All right, Taylor, hit us with it.
So I love any of those documentaries, but I love it.
Cooking shows?
No, I don't even watch
I'm sorry,
cooking
go
shows.
ahead.
No, I
Like
like
podcasts.
cooking, obviously.
Yeah.
Like podcasts. But no, I could go back and put on repeat of any of your old school, John Candy, Chris Farley, and I don't watch them that often, but whenever I sit down and watch a movie.
Like Uncle Buck and
Dear,
Sandy Crumb.
does your son think it's as funny as we think it is?
Did you see the documentary they just came out with on John Candy? He owned a hockey team in Canada.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense. So it's
Lifestyle wasn't
Yes.
very good to his body.
none
No,
of those
most of those
real
guys
funny
weren't.
guys were not.
All right, let's move on, okay?
Okay.
How do you balance family time, personal time,
Real good.
all the things at Lewis?
Can't see a line, can you, Russ? You cut them right where they're supposed to end. As best you can.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when
laughing
this
at
is
you.
ending, then I'm like, all right, let's move on to the next sector.
We do real good at that. We sometimes probably where I fault, and I can jump in and say, whether it's a weekend and I'm going to church or anything else, obviously see the value of going and doing that, wanting to. Sometimes I get where whenever I'm with my family, brothers included, like I can completely shut off and not do anything but just be with them. And then if I'm in public or anything else, I have a problem sometimes of still wanting to talk to anybody in public because
Here's
We're
the
shutting it
problem.
off.
You create such a frenzy, ultimate challenge, March, creates such a frenzy that anytime you do come across somebody it's no different than, somebody who's a doctor or a coach. Like, hey, coach, how's team looking? Small talk. Like, hey, how many cars you sold? How's the car business? And it sometimes aggravates the heck out of you because you're like, no, I shut it off. I want to talk human. At the same time, you got to appreciate it. Like, hey, I'm thinking of me.
They want a subject to talk to you about,
Yeah,
and they don't know
their
what else to bring up. And I'll tell you, so let me go down this path a little bit, and this will resonate with you guys, is let's talk about balancing family time. That comes and looks different at different stages in your life.
yeah.
So there was a point in time when we were all in on different off-road racing, razors, these full deals. And they were full day and full experiences. Then kids came to play.
Mm-hmm.
It was frowned upon. We knew that. To be able to be gone for multiple days or whole days. So that hobby had to switch of working out and running. You can fit that in and balance it with the rest. So those hobbies and stuff, you got to be willing to adjust that based upon the stage of your family and your life.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a very unique situation when you talk about balancing, business and family time. We are family. So a lot of times we go do things as a family. But if you were around us when we leave here, we don't talk a whole lot about business.
No.
No.
We just flip
You
that
have to
switch.
be deep into a work, like a long run, maybe 15, 20 miles, and you decide to finally say, hey, how you doing?
But I will tell you, based upon what you said earlier about people, because what triggered in my brain probably a year or so ago is that people were needing something to talk to me about.
It's their icebreaker.
It's the icebreaker. And if I didn't give them anything different, the only two things that they know that we might have common ground were running a business or running. And there weren't very many people that wanted to talk to me about running. And there were only a few people, they tried to talk business with me, but they were like just spitballing.
Yeah.
So I'm not an enormous sports fan, but I started talking more sports and I listened just to enough of football or basketball, whatever season's going on without getting engraved, that I could have conversations with them because I found a lot of people talk about sports.
Oh yeah.
And then that gave them something common ground to talk about.
Yep.
Anything to add on that subject?
No.
Okay.
And the funny thing about that, it's not funny. I'm a fool, but when you're at work,
Yeah.
then sometimes most of the time I'm like, it's work time.
Oh, I know.
You know, and so then when it's like family, like a family's like trying to be part of that, kids, and I love it, want to come up sometimes on Saturdays, some kids more than the others. I'm like, all right, let's go, come on, that's fun. If I don't have like a million things going on, because that's what we got to do, and I remember those memories.
Yeah.
But then I don't know, my wife and I have come up with this unverbal written agreement that I'm not going to call her and talk to her during work. I'm not going to bug her, she's not going to bug me. The house is on fire, call 911, right? If there's a bad problem, what would you do if I wasn't here? But those lines still just aren't going to cross.
Yeah.
So it's just like work time, home time.
Yep.
Try not to drag. I'm not going to drag my problems. The other day, Kara was like, hey, why didn't you tell me that? I was like, I wasn't going to bring that problem home. She's like, that's a pretty large problem. I was like, not your problem.
Yeah.
That's my problem. I put it down by the mailbox next to the dumpster.
Just left it there.
Yep.
This, I'll put it out there just because it was asked, and I don't want somebody to say, why didn't you read my question? Who's the most competitive between you three?
It's got to be me. That's a joke. I'm kidding. But
I think the competitiveness comes from Matt. It's most certainly competitiveness, but I'm not going to let him try to outcompete me. Is all I'm going to say. So we're all competitive in different spaces at different levels. Sure. We've learned like, hey, that's what they want and that's what they're after. Now, if it's something that you're passionate about,
Sure.
thank you.
Yep.
Then you'd be like, hey, let me give some insight on that as well. Like, hang on, don't just buy 94 tickets. What are we doing? I'm like, hang on, they're passionate. And we've talked about that many times. That's your passion. Okay, you take that.
Sure.
You want to do audio? You take that.
Yeah.
That is, all three of us are very competitive. We grew up in a competitive household. And I don't even know how this was developed, but if you guys know, then say it. But something that's very unique about our competitiveness is the ability to allow us to push each other, but know where the rev limiter is. You know what I mean? Of like, okay, let's be competitive with each other, but the point is not to just bury somebody and leave them in the ditch.
No, that's the difference, is that you push hard enough, and we've proven that in a lot of different ways, especially outside the dealership, but in the dealerships, like, no, Ford's going to beat Chrysler.
Yeah.
But that's one of us versus one of the other, right? And so then we're like, man, that was amazing. Good job.
Yeah.
How were you year over year?
So the whole tide rises.
So the whole thing comes up.
Yeah, it's not like you go out of business.
No.
No, it's I want to win or I want to be ahead, but if I can't win, I want you to win. Or if it's vice versa.
Or I want you to be in a very close second.
Yeah, where
I don't want to be in first, triple your business.
No, I want you right behind me. And it's just it's funny. So like if we newsflash, we don't have just a million friends lining up because we stiff arm a lot because we're here a lot of times. Matt's got a bunch and he's taking applications, but Taylor's the best.
My two current.
Taylor, you're amazing.
If we ever go somewhere, it's generally together. Here's the unwritten rule: you're not going to tell anybody where you're going. You're not telling anybody by people. We're not telling you when we're leaving. That's like that's the secret thing. When you leaving, sister will send it over. She's like, "Hey, when you leaving?" Like,
I'm not telling you.
I don't know. I'm not responding. Then it's like, okay, now let's see who can leave the latest and get there the soonest. And it's one of those things. And now our kids, the canaries, are like, how come we're always last here? How come we're always first here? It's like, I don't know. This is the rules. This is what you do. It's like, okay, who can stay the longest within the 12-hour window? And then who can make the quickest shortcut? Who can walk across water to be able to cut a couple miles off?
So, are we competitive? Absolutely. Whether we're, chopping down trees with chainsaws, or running, or doing this, or doing that, yes, we are. All right, Taylor, pull us out of this.
Yep. Okay, so right here, true or false, effective leaders never admit they don't know the answer to the question.
False. I just went over this and I said, hey, guys, I don't know the answers to this. Can you help me, please?
That's right.
Yep, that's helped us out a lot there. All right, so you've got kind of a mixed bag of questions.
Mixed bags of question. First up, Matt. This is from Steve Aldama. Why do you like John Ford so much?
Steve, we'll have a meeting after this.
That's the only answer you get.
He's like looking for dirt.
I don't even know where you come up with that. If you were in some of the meetings that John and I have, you might change your opinion on whether I like him or not.
Yeah, but
And I do like him.
you do like him. Hard worker shows up and is a company guy.
Oh, yeah.
All right, what's the long-term growth for Lewis Automotive Group? Are you guys selling next year?
I think, and whoever put this question, great question, by the way. If you walked around on the campus, I hope it shows, what the long-term growth is. We've got 2 more buildings coming out of the ground in the
We're
back.
still not done.
We're still not done. We have a goal of obviously putting in a second collision center back there. Our reconditioning facility, we have a goal of one day maybe being able to run almost 1,000 cars through there in a month, reconditioning wise. We have a goal at the pre-owned store to get that to 300 plus units a month.
Yep.
So is that like 30 years down the road? No, but that's a short, medium, and longer term goal right now. I think we're in the middle of that.
Yeah, I think constantly growing units in operation.
Did Steve write all these questions?
I don't know. We'll ask him later. What's the craziest idea an employee has ever brought to you? Pretty much anything Steve brought.
Well, never mind.
Go ahead.
Now tell him.
I'm not
Yeah, tell
repeating
him.
what.
Yeah. I mean, you can censor it if need be.
Yeah,
Yeah.
make up the name.
Craig will delete it.
Let's see. We sometimes have to. I got to think about what I've got to be able to put in there. The guy sitting next to me, he's the one that goes to
The craziest idea an employee has
extra
ever brought.
coffee.
He's got a lot of ideas.
He's got a lot of that. He was gonna pick up homeless people down at Seven Hills and have them start promoting for us. He was gonna go drop them off strategically in different.
What was the
places.
idea on that?
Just different
We're
marketing.
good at asking for the business.
Yes, asking for the business. He's going to replace all their signs with Lewis Automotive signs at all the stoplights. Sometimes some crazy things come along, and you just have to laugh, and you have to look at
You're
them,
gonna laugh or cry.
and then they look at you, and they're like, "Yeah, I know it's ridiculous. I wanted to tell you about it, though." And I said, "Yeah, that one's not going to work. Let's keep going."
Matt, can you think of any crazy ideas employees have brought to you? Can you think of any of Wayne's ideas?
Yeah, I mean, the tents he was going to put up in all the different places as buying centers.
Yeah.
And they're just, it goes on and on. But like something just way out there, there's a bunch of small ones.
All right. I don't know who came up with this one, but Matt, how many wattage does it take for an amplifier to make the ground wire red hot and set the carpet on fire? It's probably generally the power wire, but it could have been the ground wire.
We crossed something probably.
Either way. Now, as we talked about earlier, I unpack things. So it's not just the wattage, it's the size of the wire. If you want a wire to get red hot and catch the carpet on fire, what you have to do is have an overpowered amp and an undersized wire.
Yeah, I don't know that anyone aims for that. I think it happens.
Yeah, so really, we need to go down on the size of wire.
So we're going to go 10 gauge.
We're going to go 10 gauge instead of a 2 gauge, okay?
Okay.
And then we're going to have to get in that 5,000 plus RMS wattage.
Real deal.
Do you know of an amplifier that's doing that these
No,
days?
I don't.
Like the 3450s.
Okay, I will tell you.
PBI.
The closest we ever got to that was in our limo. And we had midway. We had
You
this.
know who broke in and stole our stuff.
Miles.
High dollar. Miles loved that thing.
No, I know. I'm not saying he helped.
He's honeymooning.
Yeah, he helped
So-
build that.
So we had a capacitor, and for all you old audio guys, you know what the capacitor was, and it was midway through, and it was right. That would have been the A,
Like the C pillar.
like the B or the C pillar. We had it there,
I think it's a
and it
NOS
got
bottle.
red hot. It probably would have caught things on fire.
Yeah, there was a lot of audio going on. in
Yeah.
that thing. So yeah, you just got to wire it wrong and it'll melt it. All right, next question. What area of the car business would you do on the daily other than where you are now? Selling cars is fun,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? It's quick gratification.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just pausing on that because on Saturday that's probably one of our more favorite days.
Dusking
because-
deals.
Yeah, you get involved. Selling cars is the easy part. And I know I paused right there, but that's the easy part of the business. Matching a customer that wants to buy a car with a car
Yeah.
and figuring out a solution. That's the easy part. Trying to source a part that's on intergalactic back order or trying to figure out how to fix a car that nobody knows how to fix this issue with, or to get the car that's left the factory but stuck in the warehouse and nobody will answer.
Those are the fun ones that you're able to, like, everyone's a standstill, the world's on fire, and you're like, oh, let me, and you just think outside the box. You're like, oh, I got it. This person talked this person. Hey, I found this part. They're taking it off the car. We're sending a driver over to go pick it up. It'll be here at 2 o'clock. I called Miss Pam. She is so fired up, and they're going to be on their way to Disney World at 5:30.
Yeah.
Those are the fun things.
They are. And I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking about, altitude. And as especially as you move up in the business, you must rise up altitude-wise, like over the top, so you can kind of like see the problems. Like if you'll think about that, and Taylor, you like flying, but why do they get up so high in altitude? One of them's to get above the storms.
Yep.
So you get above the storms and you can see that. But they said sometimes you got to descend to come down to see what's really going on.
Yep.
But you can't stay in either one too long.
Yeah.
I don't know how that relates, but I just really like it.
No, you got to be able to be up and moving and going through it. So,
What separates top performers from everyone else?
Daily activities and consistently doing them.
consistency.
And telling their time what to do. So those daily activities and consistency, the top performers stiff arm outside influencers that do not project them forward and towards their goal.
That is so right, but that is so hard, because generally a lot of almost top performers, or just on the edge of really hitting the pinnacle, the 1% of the 1%, they still are working on pushing the other people down to make sure that they're keeping them down instead of working on building themselves up higher. So they spend a lot of effort in putting roadblocks and pushing other people down instead of escalating themselves up.
Yep.
No, that's good.
All right, frequently asked questions.
Coming in there. So, Matt, how many questions do you think you answer in a day?
Okay, so to everybody's surprise, I answer less questions now than I did 5 years ago. But if a question gets to me, it's pretty deep.
Generally so.
It's not like, hey, who do we call to order the toilet paper? Or where should this card go? So it's not near as many as it used to be, but it's still a lot.
Yeah, probably multiple hundreds.
Yes.
But
yeah.
You're right. Yeah, as you build that layer, then other people should be.
What gets to you is something that's not like an easy, quick fix.
Yeah.
Now, flip side, Shelby, how many questions do you ask in a day as a leader?
Well, before I give you a number, because I really don't know, I'd be just making something up. Most of the time when I ask a question, I generally know the answer. But here's the thing. I was talking to Taylor the other day about reporting recalls, and he's like, I'll just go in and do this. And I said, okay, but if you do that, you didn't fix the problem.
Yeah.
I appreciate you doing that, but that means that finance still didn't have to do the work. And so they didn't even realize that maybe there was an issue.
Yeah.
And so then I would go in and ask finance, hey, did you get with Taylor? Taylor's working on this, and he's working on the first one to see how it works. He's piloting it.
Yep.
Then there's 47 that I need by the end of the day, and I need your help with. So go see him. And so that was my follow-up to make sure that Taylor didn't just get buried in doing it, and they didn't miss out on the opportunity that they need to actually be doing it, because needing to learn. So I do ask lots and lots of questions. Some of them I'm generally curious of, hey, what's going on here? But a lot of times I know the answer. Hey, what's going on with this car? And I've already gotten a text about it. Or I've already seen, why aren't we doing this and this and this? Or we walk the lot constantly and always will find something. Hey, what's going on with this one? That's my not as aggressive, maybe more passive way of saying something's not as it should be. And let's go ahead and get that fixed. That's my nice way of saying that.
It's that, and there's the other thing to be learned by that is you've already gone and checked that out.
Mm-hmm.
How many people do we have ask us questions? They're like, have you gone and looked for it on the lot?
Oh, drives me nuts. I saw the other thing on social media, and every time I get to work at the sales desk, I sit at the very first one when they walk in, and I'm like, I feel like one of the great leaders at the DMV.
Sure.
That they have to be. I'm not hating on them, right? They get a lot of stuff every single day, hopefully from Lewis Automotive. And I'm saying, have you done your best to be an adult and ask yourself this question before you come in here and ask, and you say, I need a grown-up. Have you tried to be a grown-up today?
You know, some people it doesn't even affect them. To me, and I've had that happen to me before, especially in my younger years, it files in my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Can't trust that guy.
Why did I not take 5 seconds and look for myself before I asked somebody where the milk is in the fridge? Did I even open the door to the fridge?
Yeah. There'll be a car on the pad right behind the sales manager, and the salesperson will come in, hey, have you seen the 2026 F-250? Which one? Stock number this. Okay, what does that look like? XLT, XL, King Ranch. The King Ranch, level kit with 37s. Oh, the one that's on the pad? I don't know. Is it on the pad? I don't know. Let me look. Oh, I bet it's that one on the pad.
You're both sides, management and employees sometimes get stuck in. We talked about this in a previous episode of saying, hey, good job to a guy that checked out that didn't do his activities. Right before I was coming over here, that I was already in a hurry, had somebody walk through. They were doing a checkup is what they were doing. Like, hey, look at me. I'm doing my things. They said, came in, they said, hey, do I still go see Marty and Chet for buying one off the road? And the manager was like, yep, just autopilot of going through there. I said, hey, hang on. Have you bought one before off the road? This is kind of like, hey, what's going on with this? And he's like, oh, yeah, I bought 3. I said, then you should know what to do. Take your job seriously. And he was like,
don't bog this
because he
manager
thought
down.
he was coming through going to get the high five, like, yeah, check it out. And he was like, oh, God. So make sure in your aspect, whatever it is, hold your team accountable.
That's right. Hey, what a great episode. Good insight there. Employees, we appreciate your questions. Keep them coming. Hopefully we answered them somewhat what you were looking for. Probably gave you some more insight than you were even looking for, but I hope it helps you be a better version of yourself. As always, check out our inventory at lewissuperstore.com and check out this episode and 81 others at crossroadconversationpodcast.com.
Hey, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to give it a like, share it with your friends and family, even visit our website, send us the questions about what you want to know, what you want to hear, tell us about the automotive industry, family business in general. Who do you want to hear from? Send them our way, and we'll do our best to answer any questions you have, but make sure you tune in next time where we bring in another guest and we talk more about the automotive industry and all the great things going on within our business.